A famous movie line that we all know brought on this podcast idea. What does it even have to do with you? Stay tuned.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. And in this podcast, we're going to go through a famous movie line that you've all heard, that we all learned like 10 years ago. And that's what inspired this podcast. But what does it have to do with you? A lot more than you think. In fact, it has everything to do with you. It's 100% has to do with you. What are we talking about? Now, I named this podcast, You Ain't Never Getting Off This Train. And can any of you guys think of where I got that line? Dun, 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 dun. Well, I got that line from the second Hunger Games movie, Catching Fire. Hunger Games came out, I think, 10 years ago, you guys. 10 years ago, maybe more than that. It was Jennifer Lawrence and Woody Harrelson and, I'm trying to think of the other actors. I can't think of them, but you guys all know I'm not a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. She's a flaming liberal, but I like some of her movies, and I think she's a decent actress. And she starred in all 4 of the Hunger Game movies as Katniss Everdeen. Now, in the second Hunger Games film, Catching Fire, she and Peeta just started their tour of all the districts after they won the 74th Hunger Games. And so they were starting the tour of all the districts. And they were on the train with their mentor, Haymitch, played by Woody Harrelson. Haymitch was the drunk mentor. Of course, when you win the Hunger Games, you now become a mentor for other people in your district. If they win, you mentor them through the games, try to keep them alive. Woody Harrelson does a great job in this film. He's excellent. He's an excellent actor. I don't know where he stands politically, so I can't comment on that. I mean, right now I'm recording that. We're like 1 week out of the election of sorts. So we're very politically charged right now. We're all on pins and needles. We know that the fate of this country hangs in the balance. And so that's what's on my mind day and night. So that's why I bring that up. But anyway, when they're on the train, Katniss and Peeta, they're having to do these district tours, where they are having to stand before these other districts of the fallen tributes. And it's really bothering them that they're having to read from these cue cards. And so they're just sickened by this whole thing. And so they're on the train. This is that high-speed train that takes them from district to district. And of course, the people that live in these districts are starving because the capital is hoarding all the resources and keeping these guys starving in these districts. They don't have any freedom. They beat them. They control them. It's a horrible, horrible socialist system. And they are, they're on this train and have this lavish food and this alcohol and it's just lavish stuff. And they know that it's all just, and it bothers them. It just makes them sick that people in their district, they're dying, and people in the districts are being beaten and killed and being tortured. And here they are. It's just all fake, and it bothers them. And that's what starts the uprising of the rebel revolution. And so they just said, so Peeta and Katniss are talking to Haymitch on the train. And she said, you know what? We just need to get through this tour. And when we get back home, we just got to get through this tour. And Haymitch says, get through this tour? This trip doesn't end when you get back home. He said, wake up, honey. You ain't never getting off this train. And it's one of the best lines of the whole series. He said, wake up, sweetheart. You ain't never getting off this train. Meaning the Capitol owns you now. You are a slave to the Capitol. You are a slave to President Snow. You are going to be their puppet. You're going to say what they want you to say, do what they want you to do. You ain't never getting off this train, he said. And of course, that's what starts the uprising of the rebels and the entire revolution. And they end up in the last Hunger Games. You can watch it for yourself. I'm sure you've all seen it. They end up winning and taking back their lives. And so it made me think, you ain't never getting off this train. And that's the way we want to think about our health journey. We want, and it's a little daunting when you think about it the way that I'm suggesting, because you're like, I'm busting my butt to lose weight right now. Yes, you are. You're pushing hard. I mean, believe me, when Coach Lori Stobart was losing 205 pounds in 18 months, she was grinding for a very, very, very long time. When Coach Maya McKnight was losing 136 pounds or whatever she was, 120 pounds, I think she lost like 122 pounds. She was grinding for a very, very long time. All right. When Coach Nancy Nassari lost over 100 pounds, she was grinding for a very, very long time. Our coaches and our mentors and hundreds and hundreds of rebels, maybe thousands at this point, because we've been doing this for 8 years, going into 9 years now. They know what it's like. We understand that you're going to be grinding for a very, very, very long time trying to lose this weight. But you need to understand, you ain't never getting off this train. That doesn't mean you're going to be in weight loss mode. In fact, we don't want you in weight loss mode for longer than what you have to be in. We want to get you as soon as possible out of weight loss and into maintenance program. The Code Red program has an outstanding maintenance program where we teach you how to stay at goal weight in your buffer zone, which is a 2 to 5 pound buffer for the rest of your life. And not the first thing, but right there in the first 5 steps, we want to start building you up in calories again. We want to start getting you out of weight loss mode and getting you into what life is really going to look like for you. And so that is our heart's desire. Our heart's desire is not to keep you eating down low at these low calories. We don't want you. We want to get you to start exercising. We want you to start building up muscle. We want you to start doing other things that we believe in maintenance. We want you to start building up your food volume, and we want to find a new baseline for you. So that's our heart's desire. We don't want to keep you in weight loss mode at all longer than I'm always very, very, very anxious to get you guys out of weight loss mode. Anybody knows I'm always chomping at the bit. That's why I push so hard to get you guys into maintenance, so we can get you up out of these low calories and building your calories back up. You don't want to stay at low calories for the rest of your life. Our motto in maintenance is eat more, move more. We want to eat more. We want to also move more. Now, I sent a text message to my trainer here just the other day, and I'm going to flash that on the screen. I said, now, let me preface this by saying right now, as I'm recording this, I'm 18 days out of my show in Las Vegas. 18 days out of my show in Las Vegas. And this is the High Roller Royale show put on by Jennifer Dory. And it is in Las Vegas, and I'm competing in the figure category. And I am pushing hard these last, few weeks, trying to get as much body fat off as possible. And it's really been a very hard grind. And so I said to my trainer, Corey, I said, I've been thinking about reversing out of my show. Now, this was at the 3-week out mark. So I'm still 3 weeks out of my show, and I'm already thinking about the reverse coming out of these low calories that I'm in and high activity level. I'm thinking about reversing out of my show. What are the biggest things I need to pay attention to? Now I'm flashing this on the screen so you can see this. This is a screenshot of my exact text to Corey, my trainer. I said, I absolutely have to keep this weight off. I cannot regain the weight again. It has taken me 10 times longer to lose this time than the first time around. So if I regain it again, I may never lose it again. I truly feel right now as I'm talking to you that I'm on borrowed time because I gained 35 pounds back in October of 2023. That was exactly 1 year ago this month. October of 2023, I went into a deep, dark depression. I lost my prep coach. I lost my friend. I had 3 major things happen to me all at once. And I spiraled into a deep, dark depression and I put on 35 pounds. So I put on even more weight than what I originally lost. I lost 30 pounds with my transformation in my film, Code Red, Diaries of Madness. I had lost 30 pounds for that film. And then in 1 month, I mean, maybe not just 1 month, I abused food and sugar and I put on 35 pounds. And it's taken me a year to lose that weight. It has been the most horrible grind. Now, I lost the majority of that weight in my first 1 to 2 months with Eric. I mean, I just lost it quick. But when I went to go lose it again this time, a year later, it has taken me 10 times longer to lose it. Why is that? A couple of factors, and Corey explained it to me: my age, losing, gaining, losing, gaining, losing, gaining, reversing out of such low calories. I did not do it the right way. So my body hung on to the fat, very, very, very stubborn fat. So I made a few mistakes that made it so incredibly difficult for me to lose it again. In my gut tells me this is my last chance to lose this weight. I have a very deep, dark feeling in my gut that tells me if I don't keep this weight off this time, I may never be able to lose it again. I can't even tell you how hard it's been. It's taken me 10 times longer to lose this weight again. And I still don't even have all of it gone. I'm not down to 136 pounds like I was before. I'm not even close to that. It has been so hard to lose this weight. And so I said to Corey, I have to keep this weight off. I can't regain the weight again. It has taken me 10 times longer to lose this weight than the first time around. And I fear that if I regain it again, I may never lose it. And that is a legit, real, very big fear. And I think it's true. And a lot of you guys need to understand you're in the same boat as me, and I'm 48. Some of you guys are 68, 78, even 58. It gets harder as you get older. You can still do it, but it gets harder. And it gets harder if the more you lose and gain, lose and gain, lose and gain. And some of it is how you gain the weight. Someone asked me on Ringside this morning, they said, well, if you were under a lot of stress when you gained it, does that make a difference? No, I don't think so. It's still calories packed on. You're still eating more than you're burning. And it doesn't matter if I was happy when I was eating it or sad when I was eating it or stressed out when I was eating. I was just consuming the calories. Problem was I did it in such a dirty way. I mean, it was pure and highly inflammatory oils, horrible ingredients. I didn't do it. I didn't do it clean. I didn't do chicken. I didn't gain it in chicken breast. I gained it in pizza and peanut M&Ms and donuts and candy and chocolate and popcorn. Like I did it using fake food. And so because I did it with fake food, my body bioaccumulated all this body fat that it did not, because it didn't recognize what I was eating. And it just stored it. It stored it on my organ, the outside of my organs, throughout my liver, on the outside of my body, all throughout my body. It's very dense fat because I abused food and I abused food and sugar using processed food. It's just not coming off. And I wish that somebody would have sat me down and told me after my first show that this was a possibility. I mean, I kind of I'm trying to think. Nobody really said anything to me. Nobody sat me down like I say to you guys all the time. And nobody said to me, let me give you, I don't know what Cristy, it's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. If you gain this weight back, it's going to take you 10 times longer to lose it. I wish somebody would have told me, Cristy, you ain't never getting off this train. So here I am a month out of my show, and I'm already asking my trainer, what is my plan? How do I reverse? What is my plan? What is going to be my plan? What is going to be my plan? I got to start wrapping my head around it. And he told me what the plan is going to be. It's a very, very, very meticulous, careful, detailed plan, step by step, even more detailed than the plan is getting me on stage, is the plan is getting me off stage. Did you guys know that? I didn't freaking know that because nobody helped me with this before. It's part of why I regained the weight, because my coach had that devastating thing happen to him after my show, and I didn't have any weight. I didn't have any help reversing. Nobody helped me with the reverse. Nobody did anything for me like what I do for you when you get into Code Red. But you have got to wrap your head around the fact that you are going to be diligent and mindful for the rest of your life. You are not going to stop with the real food, water, and sleep. You're never going to not get on the scale. You're never going to stop drinking your water. I should say, you're never going to stay off the scale. You're never going to stop drinking your water. You're never going to stop minding your sleep. You've got to still follow a plan, even in maintenance. Once you get all your weight off, I can tell you, I can promise you that each of the coaches, and I know I bring up Lori Stobart all the time because it's such a dramatic, remarkable comeback that she had. It's such a mind-blowing, rare comeback that she had. I bring her up a lot. I can tell you that she is so mindful, more so than, I would even say more so than her weight loss. Lori, would you agree with me? I mean, really, because she knows it's a slippery slope. And I'm already training my brain. I was on a run this morning, and I've got to do a 45-minute run in the mornings with Hazel. And then I do an additional 30 minutes of cardio at night with 30 minutes in the hot sauna at 230 degrees at night. It's hard right now. I do 3 workouts a day. I work out approximately 3 hours a day, and I get 18,000 steps a day. So right now in the last 3 weeks, it's really pretty hard. And on my long run this morning at 4:20 a.m., I remember I was already thinking about post show, because the show is just the carrot that I dangle in front of my face to keep me going. What I'm really wanting is that post show reverse. I really want to nail that. This is my redemption show. I don't even care. I know I'm not going to place high in the show because I'm not lean enough and I don't have the striations and separations that they're looking for through the quads and the hamstrings. And that's okay. That's okay with me. What I'm really chasing is redemption. I really want to reverse better. And I want to come out of this. And I'm telling myself, I told myself on my run this morning, you ain't never getting off this train, Cristy. You ain't never getting off this train. There's never going to be a time where you're not thinking about this. That is not a depressing thought. That doesn't bum me out to think about committing to this every single day. You commit to other things in your life. You commit to your walk with Christ. You commit to your marriage. You commit to parenting. You show up to your job on time. You show up to your meetings on time. You commit to so many things in your life. So why is it so weird to us that we commit to clean eating? Why is it so weird that I commit to daily exercise? Why is that so hard for you guys in weight loss to think, I got to do this the rest of my life? You don't do weight loss the rest of your life, but you mind your health for the rest of your life. You ain't never getting off this train. And the sooner you accept that, the easier this whole thing is going to be. And that's what I'm conditioning my mind to think. Because if I would have kept up with my program, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses for myself, but I did not have a reverse plan. Nobody gave me a reverse plan. I did not have help. I did not know what I was doing. I did not. Nobody gave me a plan. Believe me, in the code red, in the maintenance roadmap, it is a very, very clear structured plan. It's step 1, step 2, it's very, very clear, very lined out. And then we talk about it with you over and over and over. And the lines of communication are open. We have weekly meetings. We're very transparent. We're very hands-on in maintenance because we know the reverse is so important. And that's all we're doing in Code Red maintenance. I'm reversing you out of weight loss and into maintenance. And that's exactly what I'm doing with my bodybuilding. And so I'm already wrapping my head around that. I'm already conditioning myself, even 3 weeks out. I'm already conditioning myself, thinking, like constantly thinking about what the next step and what my life is going to look like. Committing to this every day. Not committing to quite this, but a version of this for sure. Because of my genetics, I have the tendency to hold on to so much body fat. The good news is I build muscle fairly easily. The bad news is I pack on fat fairly easily. I'm not one of these naturally skinny girls that has to work really hard to put on muscle. People say, "Oh, you're so lucky. You put on muscle so easily." I also put on a ton of body fat too, Karen. So no, it's not, I'm not naturally a bird legs and naturally, there are some girls that are just really, really, really skinny. They work for years to build muscle. It's so hard to build muscle for a girl. That's so insulting for people to say, "I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to get bulky like you." You would never be able to get bulky like me. Not unless you committed to this for years with a very, very, very structured plan and you had my genetics. No, don't insult me by saying that. Don't do that. So I want to commit to this. I want to wrap my head around this being my plan for the rest of my life. This trip doesn't end, Haymitch said to Peeta and Katniss. This trip doesn't end when you get back home. You ain't never getting off this train. That's the best thing you can say to yourself. That's the best thing. And I have taught the maintenance workshop before. And a lot of you guys attended that. I think we had 200 or 300 people attend that on the last workshop. And so you know what life is going to look like after weight loss. But you need to wrap your head around the fact that not a whole lot is going to change. Well, do you mean I can't ever have bread at the Texas Roadhouse? No, I'm not saying that. But there's a very, very, very strategic way that we add in certain foods. And you have to follow the protocol or you will gain your weight back. I wish I would have followed my plan, any kind of plan. I let the whole thing go. If I would have followed even a portion of it, then I could have mitigated the damage that I did to myself. I did so much damage to myself that I still haven't been able to undo. And if I had one superpower, it wouldn't be to win the lottery. It wouldn't be to be pretty. It wouldn't be to have a husband that I loved more than anything. It would be, if I could have one superpower, it would be somehow, some way, try to convince you to not do what I did, to try to keep you from gaining the weight back, because I know some of you guys who have gained the weight back, you are fighting so hard to get it off in your mind and your body. In your mind and your body. And I would love to be able to prevent you from that hard lesson, because it has been absolutely miserable for me to try to, I've wasted a whole year. I've spent a whole year trying to, you could say wasted, I guess, but wasted a whole year just trying to get back to where I was before. A whole year, and I'm not even close. I'm a little bit there, but not where I want to be, because it has just been so stubborn because of what happened and the way I did it. You have got to realize that this trip doesn't end when you get back home. And I keep telling myself, I'm in Vegas. I arrive Thursday nights. I'm there Friday and Saturday. I compete on Saturday morning and Saturday night. Sunday morning, I go back home. But this trip doesn't end when I get back home. I've got all the coaches, not all the coaches, four of the coaches coming to Vegas to watch me compete. I'm so grateful that they're coming. I'm really, my mom's not coming. Nobody else is coming. So it's really great to have them take their time and money and effort to come and watch me. It just means the world to me. And I know afterwards, it's kind of tradition for all the competitors to go out kind of for a cheat meal. And I'm already thinking, I don't know if I want to, because I do know when you're in that very, very, very depleted state that is trying to make your muscles look super, super lean and dehydrated, and you have a tendency to really hang on to any kind of food that you get. So for you to go out afterwards and have a cheap meal, ice cream, donuts, pizza, whatever the heck people do, you just tend to hold on. You got to be really, really careful, especially at my age. If you're 27 and you're doing this, but at 47, 48, it just, I don't want to bloat up like a tick. And then now I can't get that weight back off. I'm already thinking ahead. I'm already looking at the night after the competition. It's tradition for competitors to go and celebrate because you've been without a cheat meal for so long. But as Code Red Rebels, we really don't do that. We don't believe in abusing food, sugar, or alcohol. And I'm already kind of thinking, my friend Chelsea Rogers, she's a pro physique competitor, and I went and watched her in Salt Lake City at the Wasatch compete, and I said, "Are you going to have a cheat meal tonight?" She goes, "I'm going to have a steak and a baked potato," because we don't generally eat potatoes and we don't generally eat red meat and when we're getting stage lean. And that was her consideration for her. That was what she considered to be a cheat meal: red meat, a big steak, and a baked potato. And I'm not saying of course those things aren't bad. Of course we don't eat potatoes in weight loss mode, but it's not bad. It's just when we're trying to get stage lean, we don't eat red meat. And a lot of competitors don't. We stick with lean meats like chicken and turkey and stuff, egg whites. And so when she said that, it really made an impact on me because she was so committed, because she's almost my age. She's in her mid to upper 40s, and she knows it just doesn't look the same when you're our age and older. The fat just is more stubborn, guys. And you need to understand you ain't never getting off this train. You've got to get your head wrapped around that you are committing to a healthy lifestyle for the rest of your life. That you're not going back to Uber Eats. You can't go back to Olive Garden breadsticks dipped in Alfredo. You can't. You can't go back to food court pizza. You can't go back to county fair elephant ears and corn dogs. And you're like, I can never have those foods again. Understand it all comes with a price. I'm not saying you can't ever have those foods again. The problem is people just don't have it just once. It starts them on a downward spiral, and it's hard for people to control. And it screws with your mind, and it screws up the chemistry in your brain, and it starts this cascade of cravings. It's weird. It's weird. This trip doesn't end when you get back home. The famous words of Haymitch on Hunger Games Catching Fire: you ain't never getting off this train. And the sooner you really wrap your head around that, the better you're going to be. Because I know that right now I am making sure that I am thinking of that all the time, to where I don't skip a beat. And Corey explained to me exactly how my reverse is going to look. And I've been replaying that like a football player, replaying plays on the field over and over and over in my head, so that I don't even have room in my mind to even skip a beat. I'm going right into Monday. As soon as I get off that plane, I come home, I get in my car, I drive out, I pick up Hazel at the boarding facility, I come home, I go to bed on time, I get up the next morning at 4 a.m. and I go for a run. And I start my day. I make sure that I get that first 40 ounces of water in before my coffee. My coffee always brews while I'm running because I like to come into the smell of coffee. And I start my day and I mind my macros, I mind my meal plan, and I do exactly what my plan is. I have to, you guys, and so do you. I don't have any more chances. I firmly believe in my heart, I am out of chances. This is it for me. It's going to be, my body fat is not going to come down. You know, and whether that's true or not, that's what I'm telling myself. That's what I'm telling myself. And you need to tell yourself that too. Whatever's going to work. But I am here to tell you, I am living proof of the fact that it is going to be nearly impossible if you regain the weight over and over and over to continue to do this. You can't. Just keep thinking, I ain't never getting off this train. I'm recommitting to my health every day. I'm getting up. I'm doing the same thing every single day. Yeah, is it a little depressing? Yeah, I wish we could all have a magic pill. I wish. That's just not the reality of it, guys. We live in a society where we have fake food all the time, all around us. And because we're eating such fake food, it's just wreaking havoc on our bodies and we're packing on body fat. And like I said earlier in the podcast, I think that my weight regain would have been different if I would have just gained weight on chicken and egg whites and ground beef and, butter and ghee and tallow. If I would have done this with pork chops, T-bone, ribeye, asparagus, if I would have gained my weight, see, I wouldn't have gained my weight on that because you'll throw up before you overeat. But because I gained my weight on processed food, I'm actually thinking, I'm kind of working through this in my mind as I'm talking to you guys. But because I gained my weight on processed food, I firmly believe that is part of the problem that is making this so hard to get off. I just think that because it's fake food, your body didn't know it. It just showed up on my body differently, and it's been a ton harder to burn off. And so in this day and age with this fake food that we have, I think this is our fate to have this bioaccumulated body fat that's too stubborn to come off. It will not come off if you continue to do this over and over and over. If you continue to abuse food, sugar, and alcohol, you will run out of chances. I think I'm on borrowed time right now, and I think I need to really, really be careful. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you are looking for some hardcore accountability to get and keep this weight off, look no further because I've got VIP Connection. This is the ultimate connection to me, just short of me sleeping on your couch. You're going to get 3 daily messages from me in real time directly to you. You're going to submit your weight every Friday. We're going to go over it in a weekly meeting on Sunday nights, and I'm going to give you feedback. You'll have access to a monthly VIP breakfast with me in Boise, a monthly VIP supplement box, access to any workshop, any PDF promo that I hold for that month. You'll have access to the Ringside membership. And best of all, you'll have a fully customized nutrition program written just for you. We're talking about over $3,000 total value for $397 a month, and you can cancel anytime. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/VIP to check that out.